Chloe stands on the doorstep of her Cresthaven home, the camera capturing the soft glow of a porch light against the evening's deepening dusk, a cardboard package at her feet. She's in a loose sweater, her hazel eyes alight with mischief, a playful smirk curling her lips as the lake's hum echoes in the distance. You guys will never believe what happened. I'm Chloe, painting my way through the lakeside town of Cresthaven, chasing moments that spark the soul on canvas. Tonight, I was expecting a late delivery, some art supplies, nothing fancy, but when Julian, the delivery driver with dark curls, warm hazel eyes, and a voice like a jazz riff, showed up at my door, things took a turn. What started as a quick handoff became a conversation that lingered way past the signature. Want to know how it unfolded? Keep watching, because this story's all about an evening that paints a spark brighter than the dusk. Like and subscribe for more. The evening in Cresthaven was cool and quiet, the air alive with the gentle lapping of the lake and the faint chirp of crickets, the scent of damp earth and pine drifting through the open windows of Chloe's historic home. Her day had been spent in her attic studio, mixing vibrant oils for a new canvas, a swirling lakeside sunset that echoed her restless energy. Her home, with its creaking oak floors, ivy-draped windows, and walls adorned with her bold paintings, was her sanctuary. But tonight, her dangerous desires stirred beneath her calm exterior, like a brush poised over a blank canvas, waiting for a spark to ignite a masterpiece. When the doorbell chimed after dark, announcing a late delivery of art supplies, she hadn't expected it to be Julian, the delivery driver she'd seen around town, whose easy charm had caught her eye in fleeting moments. At 55, Julian was a delivery driver by day and a jazz musician by night, his dark curls streaked with gray, his warm hazel eyes carrying the depth of years spent playing saxophone in smoky clubs, and his hands steady from handling packages and reeds moving with a rhythm that felt like a soulful riff. His evening, Chloe, during past deliveries, paired with a quick smile, had always felt professional but warm, like a note played just right. She'd told herself it was just appreciation for the guy who'd once helped carry a heavy box of canvases to her porch, who'd hummed a jazz tune while she signed for a package. But tonight, as the dusk settled over Cresthaven, her dangerous desires were ready to sketch a new scene, one that lingered beyond the doorstep. Doorstep, 8:00 p.m. The porch light cast a golden glow over Chloe's doorstep, the evening air cool and tinged with the lake's faint mist. She opened the door, her loose sweater slipping off one shoulder, her hair tousled from a day of painting. Julian stood there, a cardboard box in hand, his delivery uniform slightly rumpled, his hazel eyes catching the light as he grinned. "Late one tonight," he said, his voice a smooth hum, like a saxophone's low note. "Art supplies, right? Hope I didn't keep you waiting." The lake's hum was a soft backdrop, the scent of pine and his cologne cedarwood, sharp and warm mixing in the air. Chloe leaned against the doorframe, her smile playful, her hazel eyes glinting with curiosity. "You're out here braving the dark for my paints," she said, her voice light but teasing. "That's dedication, Julian." She signed the tablet he offered, her fingers brushing his, the contact sending a spark through her like a brushstroke hitting a canvas. Here's where the sketch begins, she thought, her inner monologue painting the moment, a doorstep, a package, a glance that colors outside the lines. Julian's grin widened, his eyes lingering on her for a beat longer than necessary. "Can't let an artist go without her tools," he said, setting the box down, his voice carrying a warmth that felt less like a delivery and more like an invitation. "You working on something big?" The air was charged, the dusk deepening around them, the porch light casting their shadows long and soft. Living room, 8:15 p.m. Chloe invited him in to escape the evening chill, a spur-of-the-moment choice that felt bold but right. The living room was a warm haven, its oak walls lined with her vibrant paintings, lakeside sunsets, stormy skies, and abstract swirls of color. A low lamp cast a golden glow, and a record player spun a soft jazz tune, Chet Baker, soulful and slow, its notes weaving through the air, mingling with the scents of cedar, paint thinner, and Julian's cologne. They settled on a plush couch by a window overlooking the lake, the package resting unopened on the coffee table, a bowl of half-eaten popcorn left from earlier. Their conversation started light, her latest painting, his delivery route, but the room's intimacy, the jazz's gentle rhythm, loosened their guards. Chloe's mind flickered to memories, vivid and fluid, like strokes on a canvas, Julian's first delivery to her home, months ago, when he'd paused to admire her porch mural, his voice warm as he said, "You've got away with color." Another fragment, a rainy afternoon when he'd lingered after dropping off a package, humming a jazz tune she recognized, her laugh teasing as she said, "You're wasted on deliveries, Julian." Then, a quieter hue. Last week, him carrying a heavy box of art books to her door, his hand brushing hers, his voice soft, "Your work's got soul, Chloe." Each memory was a brushstroke, layering their connection, pulling her toward a truth she'd been sketching around. "You don't strike me as just a delivery guy," she said, leaning back on the couch, her hazel eyes searching his, the lamp's light catching their hazel depths. "You've got this rhythm, like you're playing a song even when you're just handing me a box." The canvas is alive now, she thought, her inner monologue vivid, each word a stroke, each glance a shade of something bold. Julian chuckled, his hand resting on the couch, close enough to feel its warmth, his voice low, like a jazz riff finding its groove. "Maybe I'm playing something," he said, his eyes holding hers, a flicker of amusement mixed with something deeper. "But you're the one painting the scene, Chloe. That mural on your porch? It's like a song you can see." The jazz record hummed, the lake's shimmer casting faint patterns through the window, the air heavy with possibility. Kitchen, 8:45 p.m. moved to the kitchen to grab drinks. The room, small and cozy, lit by a single pendant light, the scent of coffee grounds and pine mingling with the lake's faint dampness. Chloe leaned against the counter, pouring iced tea, while Julian stood nearby, his delivery jacket draped over a chair, his sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms marked by years of saxophone practice. The air was charged, the lake's hum a quiet pulse through the cracked window. "You didn't have to stick around," she said, handing him a glass, her fingers grazing his, the contact sending a spark through her like paint hitting a fresh canvas. "Most delivery guys don't end up in my kitchen." Her voice was teasing, but her hazel eyes held a question, searching for the man behind the uniform. Julian's smile was slow, deliberate, his eyes tracing her face like he was reading a score. "Most deliveries don't come with an artist who makes you want to linger," he said, his voice a low hum, like a note held just right. "You've got this spark, Chloe. Makes it hard to just drop off and go." Here's where the colors blend, she thought, her inner monologue painting, where the sketch becomes a painting, bold and unapologetic. Another memory surfaced, fluid and vivid. Julian a month ago, dropping off a package during a sunset, pausing to hum a tune as she signed, his eyes catching hers as he said, "You make Cresthaven feel like a melody." Then, a recent stroke, him helping her unload a box of canvases, his laugh warm as she teased him about his jazz playlist, his voice soft, "Your paintings stay with me, Chloe." The memories layered like colors, tightening the connection between them, her heart pounding with the possibility of a new composition. Living room, 9:30 p.m. Back in the living room, the jazz record shifted to Miles Davis, its notes a velvet hum as the lamp's glow deepened, the lake's shimmer a faint backdrop through the window. They sat closer on the couch, the package still unopened, the conversation stretching beyond pleasantries. Chloe opened up about her art, her voice fervent as she described chasing moments that felt alive. "It's like I'm trying to capture something before it fades," she said, her fingers brushing the couch's edge, its texture grounding her. "I want my paintings to make people feel something, like a song you can't forget." Does that sound too much? Her hazel eyes searched his, her dangerous desires urging her to push past the surface, like a brush seeking the perfect hue. Julian leaned closer, his elbow brushing hers, the contact sending a spark through her like a stroke hitting a canvas. "Not too much," he said, his voice low, resonant, like a saxophone finding its soul. "Your paintings have that spark, Chloe. I saw that sunset piece on your porch. It's like you bottled a moment. It's magnetic." His words carried a new intensity, a crack in his easygoing facade, and the air shifted, the lamp's light amplifying the moment, her plan gaining momentum like a painting taking shape. "Hey guys," Chloe said, her voice bright but laced with mischief, breaking the moment as if speaking to her imaginary audience, her eyes glinting as she leaned back. "We're about to get into the spicy portion of the story, so please don't forget to like and subscribe." She grinned, the words a playful shield, but her heart pounded as she shifted closer, her knee brushing his, the contact electric. Here's where the canvas ignites, she thought, her inner monologue vivid. "You didn't have to stay, Julian," she said softly, her voice charged with truth, her hazel eyes unwavering. "You dropped off the package, but you're still here. Why does it feel like this isn't just about a delivery anymore?" The silence was electric. Miles Davis's notes a soft pulse, the living room shrinking to just them, the couch, the lamp's glow, the lake's faint shimmer. Her heartbeat quickened, her dangerous desires painting a scene she couldn't ignore. Julian's gaze softened, his voice low, strained but warm, like a rift finding its resolution. "It's not Chloe," he said, his eyes flickering to their close hands, then back to hers, a spark of something unguarded breaking through. "You've got this way of pulling people in, like a painting that makes you stop and stare. I stayed because I didn't want to walk away." His words echoed the quiet power of a song binding a community, resonating with her heart. Her smile widened, her heart soaring, the tension pulsing like the lamp's glow. "Maybe I like that you stayed," she said, her voice teasing but honest, leaning closer, her hand brushing his, the contact electric, like paint spilling across a canvas. "Maybe I don't want you to walk away." Her eyes locked on his, the jazz swelling like a cue, her plan unfolding in the charged silence. Kitchen, 10:15 p.m. drifted to the kitchen again, needing a moment to breathe, the pendant light casting a warm glow over the wooden table, the scent of coffee lingering. Chloe sat on the counter, her sweater loose, while Julian leaned against the sink, his hazel eyes tracing her with a mix of curiosity and restraint. The air was still charged, their earlier words hanging like an unfinished painting. "You've got a way of making a delivery feel like something else," she said, her voice playful but weighted, her fingers tapping the counter's edge. "You're not just dropping off boxes, Julian. What's your deal?" "The colors are mixing now," she thought, her inner monologue bold, where the lines blur and the painting becomes something new. He laughed, a low, warm sound, his hand resting on the counter near hers, the touch close enough to spark. "Maybe I'm not just a delivery guy," he said, his voice rich with amusement and intensity, his eyes twinkling with a warmth she hadn't seen before, like a musician hitting a perfect note. "I've been playing jazz half my life, but you make me want to linger, Chloe. That's not in the delivery manual." Another memory flickered, Julian last month, humming a tune as he handed her a package, his eyes catching hers as he said, "You make Cresthaven feel like a song." The memory blended with the present, her heart pounding with possibility. Doorstep, 11 o'clock. Pumthee stepped back to the doorstep, the night now clear, the lake's shimmer reflecting the stars above. The porch light cast a soft glow, the air alive with the scent of pine and the lake's faint mist. Chloe leaned against the doorframe, Julian beside her, their shoulders close, the silence heavy with possibility. "Here's the final stroke," she thought, her inner monologue painting, where the canvas holds its breath and the heart decides the hue. "I don't want this to just be a delivery," she said, her voice steady, her eyes locked on his, her hand grazing his arm, the contact grounding her like a finished painting. "What do you want, Julian? Now that we're here, after dark?" He leaned closer, his smile slow, his eyes tracing her face like he was reading a score. "I want to see where this song goes," he said, his voice soft but weighted, like a note held just right. "You're bold, Chloe, bolder than I was ready for. You're turning my night upside down, and I don't think I want to stop you." The lake hummed, its rhythm a quiet witness, as resonant as a song spreading through a community. The air was thick with possibility, Chloe's dangerous desires sparking brighter than the stars. "You're making it hard to keep this professional," she teased, her voice a mix of playfulness and truth, her courage steady like a brush in her hand. He chuckled, his fingers brushing hers on the doorframe, the touch warm and electric. "Professionals overrated," he said, his voice low, rich, carrying the weight of their moment. "What do you want, Chloe? Now that we're here, at midnight?" Her heart pounded, the spark of his touch as vivid as her paintings. "I want this," she said, her eyes locked on his, her hand pressing against his. "This moment, you." The lake shimmered, its rhythm a soft applause, as her dangerous desires signed for more, leaving a daring new chapter, one fearless stroke at a time. Chloe leans against the doorframe, the camera capturing the porch light's glow and the lake's distant shimmer. She smiles, her eyes bright with mischief and warmth. "And that's how a delivery turned into a moment we couldn't let go." Cresthaven's got a way of making nights like this feel like art, doesn't it? If you love this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Chloe's Dangerous Desires. What's next for me and Julian? Stick around to find out. See you in the next one.